the world's largest privately owned jellyfish aquarium, the long road to graceful serenity. Before these moon jellyfish could drift in a 2-story sea of light, before the tank could be dropped into a stylish new restaurant, before the uniquely engineered cylinder and its proprietary inner workings could be fabricated in California, it was tumbling through the mind of designer J.R. Corvison at Reef Aquaria Design in Florida.
Some of the biggest challenges were getting the right kind of water flow needed in an aquarium of this shape and size. They do need us to keep them suspended in the water column. In nature, the ocean does that for them. Ocean currents carry them, feed them, take away their waste. Here, they're relying on us to do it.
In a sense, it would mark a return of jellyfish to Kentucky in large quantities, since parts of the bluegrass state were covered by warm seas millions and millions of years ago.
Kemosabe here, okay?
The aquarium would reside in Coba Casino, a restaurant to open in March of 2013 in Lexington, Kentucky.
And we had to do something spectacular here. This is a 12,000-foot restaurant, one of the biggest in the country, and so we had to try to top all that, so we went for it.
I tend to go into the boardroom and there's the drawings, and it's this grand thing with aquarium right in the center of this restaurant. And then this whole board looks at me and says, what do we do? So my idea was to do something that you would normally have to pay to see. Flew down to Florida. Jeff Turner took us out to see 2 different aquariums that he had set up with jellyfish in it. We had lunch at the W Hotel right in front of their large jellyfish aquarium, and that really sealed the deal.
Corvison and Reef Aquaria Design CEO Jeff Turner created the concept almost from scratch. They had examined other jellyfish aquariums around the country, but weren't satisfied that water flow techniques elsewhere would work in a cylinder of this size. At Waterdog Products, an aquarium fabrication facility in San Diego, Turner got his first view of the design and literally crawled through the structure, wanting to ensure that the water flow could be controlled in a way that would eventually support more than 300 jellyfish in an elegant setting. So far, Turner is satisfied that the concept will work, but there are still many variables ahead for this project.
Trickle is standing up over here, and they're going to marry that together with the disbursement plate, the top cap, and then create this whole.
A rainy day in July 2012, the aquarium has arrived in Kentucky.
Jorge came all the way from California with this little fishbowl. Yeah. And he had some trouble. He went through Missouri, or Missouri as they call it, and with tornado warnings. This aquarium has been through tornado warnings, but obviously it's still on the truck. So Jorge's done a hell of a good job, and we're ready to make the delivery.
It is the first time J.R. Corvison would see his creation in person.
Well, Jeff and I put a lot of thought into this, and we batted a lot of ideas back and forth between ourselves. And then once we started putting it all on paper and constructing the 3D models and whatnot, made countless tweaks and tweaks and tweaks. And then when we got with the fabricator, things changed even more to facilitate them. So I was just saying it's interesting to see it finally in person and actually be standing in it, what existed only in my hard drive.
Before the tank can be hoisted into the building, plastic sheeting designed to protect the acrylic must be removed. A significant scratch from this point forward would mean hours and hours of buffing.
I'm about to take the last human steps in this thing towards the back, which is actually the bottom, and pull all this protective plastic out. And then we're going to get ready to pick it up and put it in place.
Then, the stand must be attached to the cylinder, a process that takes hours. Hoisting the tank properly is critical. The wrong angle could put pressure on the connecting bolts between the aquarium and the stand, and the project could be brought to a standstill. But the crane operator has a careful touch. He, along with Turner, Corvison, and the rest of the crew, watch as the straps tighten perfectly. The tank, once upright, is lifted nearly 100 feet in the air and transported over the roof of the massive restaurant. Using hand signals and radio controls, the crane operator is able to make minute adjustments. The support structures on the aquarium stand acting like crosshairs on the scope of a rifle. The aquarium settles into its resting place, looking more like a spaceship than a home for jellyfish.
Seeing it put here in position and dropped in with a crane, a lot of hard work went into to get us right here today, and I'm very happy about that.
It's feeling like, you know, there's a lot of weight off our shoulders right now. The fish bowl went in very, very nice for the installation, and we've got one heck of an aquarium here. Installations, and we'll water test it with fresh water, all the systems and plumbing lines, and then we'll drain it out and get ready for them for creating some RO water, 3,000 gallons of RO water to fill the aquarium. That'll be a feat. And then we'll put the salt in and get temperature going, biological going, and put some jellyfish in.
We may go broke, and we may all have to go out and look for another job, and I may have to sell my house, but I'm going to tell you what, we'll have the coolest jellyfish tank in the world.
While work continued over the next several months on the restaurant itself, the team from RAD worked on plumbing for the filtration system. Then, just weeks before opening, everything had to come together quickly. The team removed the covering that protected the aquarium from damage during restaurant construction. Fortunately, there were no scratches. Saltwater had replaced the fresh, along with a handful of jellies used for testing. Joey Turner, an experienced diver, entered the cylinder in scuba gear for a final cleaning. The cleaning went well, but lingering in the minds of the creators, would the water flow system function as designed, maximizing the display of more than 300 graceful moon jellyfish while providing them the artificial currents they would depend upon for survival? The next day, some of the answers would come.
Well, our jellyfish arrived today via FedEx in boxes from an aquaculture facility. They were all very smaller jellyfish grown in captivity, which is a great size to start with in a brand new aquarium of this size.
The water in the boxes was colder than that in the aquarium. Carefully, the RAD crew warmed them so as not to shock and possibly harm the jellies upon release. And then, suddenly, it was time. Turner manned the lift, carrying the jellyfish a box at a time to the top of the two-story structure.
We're going to take the bag and lay it in. Roll the bag.
At the top, there was a few more minutes of acclimation for the pulsing jellies. Then, Turner tilted the bag, and history would be made. There was a sense around the room that jellyfish had returned to Kentucky in significant numbers for the first time in millions and millions of years.
It feels great. Today's a big day. It's some form or another 10 years in the process, so today is a big launch for us. I said it's exceeded our expectations, exceeded our imagination. And we have gotten to know Jeff and the guys at Reef Aquarium very, very well. They're exceptional. Their work is first class. They're on time. They deliver results. They're just nice guys. They know everything. They know what they're talking about. They know the details of their business. It's more than just the professionalism. They're just fun to be around and make the whole project fun. An experience like this, a project like this, shouldn't just be about business. It should be partnerships and relationships and having fun, and that's why we love working with Reef Aquarium. We joked earlier, I think everybody in town thought we're crazy. We just gave them the proof.
In order to maintain the impressive display for years to come, a sophisticated filtration and feeding system is now functioning in a remote corner of the restaurant.
We have a very specialized filtration room just designed specifically for this aquarium at Cobra Casino. Myself and JR put a lot of planning into the space in and of itself, the line set in the ground, all the way to the aquarium. And then we feed them several times a day and change water on a regular basis. Very important to change the salt water. Make sure you don't have nitrates build up in the system. And then we have a great little room. It's its own dedicated space to help keep this aquarium at Cobra Casino healthy and beautiful for years to come.
What we found with jellyfish when we first saw it was just how mesmerizing they are, that you could literally captivate your attention for an hour or more, and certainly around the dining experience we just thought it would be a wonderful kind of feature of the restaurant, and it's blowing us away just how impressive it is.
Cobra Casino is packed on the invitation-only opening weekend. The restaurant is full, the colors, the food, everything amazing. And there in center court, the jellies. A vision had become a reality.
We wanted something kind of 360 experience. We wanted something that's very, very large, and we were kind of going after the world's largest tank for jellyfish, and we captured that in the world's largest private jellyfish aquarium.
And since we delivered the aquarium, it's been about 6 months of installation, all the engineering, plumbing, testing, getting it up and running, lighting, dust and cleaning, and up and down lift a zillion times, and just incredible amount of time invested to get this one-of-a-kind aquarium up and running here in Kentucky.
The Cobra Casino Jellyfish Aquarium experiment had succeeded. The jellies were thriving, their translucent bodies picking up the unique LED lighting from above, their biological needs met by sophisticated filtration and automated feeding systems. The public display and appreciation beyond question. Jellyfish had returned to Kentucky.